So, as I was scrolling through Reddit earlier, I actually found there was a guy who was talking about sort of like the overlap and the eventual merge of the global and Japanese versions of the game. And he has basically put together a gigantic spreadsheet of information. Obviously, some of it's not complete yet. Like, he doesn't have a whole lot of the JP banners and stuff like that put together, which is, I mean, that's going to take a lot of time. So, I mean, I don't know when he'll get that done. But I don't really know what the comparison page is for, considering it's very minimal so far. Like, it's not laid out yet. And then he actually has like the SSR difference in global and JP, which shows how many SSRs there are versus how many weeks in. So you can see like global started and just like we are I guess we're on week 85. He's predicting that in 5 more weeks we will overlap, which is insane. I don't think that's going to be completely correct, because if I'm not mistaken, you can see down here JP has 117 SSRs and we have 104, so you know we're missing 13, which means I really doubt in 5 weeks they're going to add 13 SSRs. So yeah, I really doubt we meet that in 5 weeks, but I mean it's getting close. It's getting really close. So I don't know, I thought it would be kind of fun to look through the old banners and stuff like that and see how much the game has kind of progressed and changed since the launch of global. So as you can see, global released on March 3rd of 2020, and the first banner that we got was a red Merlin banner. I don't remember, I think I probably ended up summoning on this one, but I didn't start making content on this game until Escanor came out, so I really couldn't tell you how much I did, because there's not really a catalog of me doing so anymore, like this far back, because I didn't really play the game that far, or like on my channel that far back. Hold please. Okay, hopefully the dogs have stopped barking. Green Bond. I actually remember when Green Bond came out, and I think I'm pretty sure I ended up summoning a lot on his banner because I thought he was a really cool looking character. Little did I know this was the only Bond in the game that was going to be good. There's still not a good Bond, and this was the second banner on global. Why does Bond get neglected so bad? Green Merlin. It's really weird that she actually came out on a banner, thinking about it, because you know, most of the characters that are in the coin shop really don't get banners. Well, I guess in the beginning of it they really did, because I mean, even then you can see the red Gother banner, and I'm pretty sure red Demon Meliotis got a banner too. So I don't remember if I was like active in the like YouTube community or on Reddit or anything at this point, so I really didn't know if any of these banner like characters were worth going for. So I don't remember if I ended up summoning on this character a whole lot, but yeah, I remember this. I'm pretty sure I did look up this banner whenever it came out, and I remember everybody was like, oh my god, Red Gother's the best character in the game, you gotta have Red Gother. And I summoned a ton on this banner, and I did not pull Red Gother. I pulled like 2 or 3 gallons, and I was super upset about it. And this was like one of like the most heartbreaking things at the beginning of my like playing of the game, because I really wanted that Gother. And everybody was using them, and I kept seeing that they were ranking up a whole lot, and I embraced it, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna I got my gallon to level 65, which was like, I think the highest you could get him at the time, and I just started going into PvP with that because everybody was running Red Gother, so I was just countering it with gallon. So I was like, okay, well, whatever. And this is kind of well, I know that like around, you know, with the Bond banner, they kind of realized that they weren't going to be doing the exact same thing as JP. They were like, oh wow, like something's like different, like Green Bond shouldn't have been next or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the release schedule was supposed to be, but I remember there being a lot of weird stuff going on with Green Bond. And then once they paired Gother up with Gallon on the same banner, everybody was like, okay, like this isn't exactly like JP like it should be. And I guess I'll bear it back again. okay. So yeah, I remember this was a big turning point for the game because everybody was like, oh no, it's not JP. And then they did this banner, which was really interesting because they were like, oh, okay, so they're releasing Red Helbram, which a lot of people were really wanting Red Helbram because of the whole double petrification team, which was absolute cancer in the meta. Looking back at it now, it was actually really cool. I didn't use it at its height because I didn't have Red Helbram for a while after he released. But it was really cool to like use after I finally ended up getting Red Helbram. Like I could definitely see why people used it. It was complete control, especially with the meta being what it was. And there were so few characters in the game, so obviously none of them could really kind of counter that. So it was actually really interesting. I like that one. Red Demon Meliotis came out. I really wanted Red Demon Meliotis because I didn't realize, I mean, he's a really good character. He wasn't, I mean, he's obviously not great for like PvP and stuff like that. He was okay, but he's a very helpful character for, you know, obviously like Red Demon, or well, not really Red Demon. Hallex is the one that you want to use him for. But I thought he was so cool. Having a Demon Meliotis in the game, I was like, I gotta have this character. And I don't think I ended up pulling him actually when he first came out. Pretty sure I ended up buying him out of the coin shop, so that was kind of cool. Then there was a festival banner, or a all 7 banner, which is, you know, whatever. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the point where people were like, why isn't Escanor in the game? Like, he's supposed to be on this banner. Like, it says all 7, but, you know, not all 7 are here. So there was like a big like question mark in the community on this one. And yeah, I don't know. We really don't get banners like this anymore, and it's kind of sad. Like, it's been a really long time since we've got a 7% banner. So that kind of sucks. But anyways, up next we have the man, the myth, the legend. This is where I started making content on the game, so it's always kind of a cool one to see. Looking back at it, it's kind of surprising that I was able to pull him in just like, I think I'd spent 300 gems on the banner, which, I mean, 300 gems is pretty good. It's 10 multis, but I mean, I don't know, just these, I feel like we don't really see a whole lot of regular banners as of late, because a lot of the banners are like 600 mileage or 900 mileage or whatever the case may be, because they're like bigger sort of like characters that everybody kind of wants, so they end up putting them like on a guaranteed at the end of the mileage sort of banner. So I don't know, it's been a while since we've had like a regular sort of banner that I've even summoned on, but I don't know, I ended up pulling Green Escanor, and he is such a good character. Even still to this day, he's very good in like certain aspects, like just like the fact that I have his ult maxed out. His ult is absolute ridiculous damage. Then this character came out. I'm pretty sure, I don't think I pulled this character, which then again, I'm pretty sure I skipped on this banner. I don't think I ended up pulling on this one. And then I'm pretty sure I ended up pulling her off of like a part 1 ticket, or like a free summon or something of some sort. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I pulled her at some point and I used her in the meta. And unfortunately, this character got really like glossed over on global because people already knew what she did, because if you were like really keeping up with the game on JP, you knew her gimmick and you really kind of could just counter that very easily. And then we got our first collab. Our first collab actually came out pretty soon after the game launched. I mean, it was a couple of months, but like, I don't know, it's kind of like weird because like we had this collab, and then like I feel like JP had this collab, and then they didn't have another one for quite a while. But this was a really cool collab. Obviously the characters were pretty crappy, and they're still not really that great. I have all of them, but obviously I don't use them because they're really not worth using, to be honest. Obviously I think they could really use like a buff if they wanted to like buff these characters, but even then I feel like they probably shouldn't buff these characters, because then it's just going to make it to where people who weren't around or didn't pull the characters are just going to be jealous, and that's probably not a good thing. So yeah, it was okay. The Green Lilia banner, this is where global started going all downhill. I remember okay, so if you don't know, Green Lilia came out on JP and they gave her away for free, and they gave her, like, they gave 6 copies of her away for free, actually. So you got this character for, absolutely free, and you got her 6/6, which, maxed out her ultimate, and that was really cool. And then everybody was expecting the same thing on global, and they did not do that at all. They didn't give out any copies of her for free, and then they put her on a step up banner, and people were super upset about it, and I completely get why. I remember when I talked about the banner, I ended up doing these first 2 multis because I was like, it's a step up banner. Like, even if this isn't like the best character to go for, like, this is really good value doing like 1 summon and then getting another summon for 1 gem. And I remember getting a comment, and the guy was like, fuck you support Netmarble's shitty decisions. So I don't know why I remember that specifically, but yeah, this was a really, really bad banner. Really bad time. And then the worst banner of my entire life came out. I had 900 gems saved, ready to summon on this banner. I was so hyped to have blue Demon Meliotis. I remember getting off work that day, and a couple of my friends wanted to go out to eat, and I was like, I can't, man. I gotta go home and summon for this blue Demon Meliotis. And I did 3 separate videos where I did 300 gems apiece, and I didn't pull a single copy of Blue Demon Meliotis, and I was so upset about it. It was the worst summoning I've ever done on this game, and I was so upset, and it absolutely, like, it was awful. Next up, we have the Valencia Banner. I can't remember. I don't think I did like a whole rotation on this or not. I'm pretty sure I ended up... maybe I did summon on her. I can't remember exactly. Because I want to say I ended up pulling her trying to get something else. I don't remember. Or maybe there was another banner that I pulled Valencia and Blue Demon Meliotis on. I can't remember exactly, but a lot of people were trying to pull her so that way you could get ready to counter the Pierce meta, because obviously Blue Lilia wasn't out at this point, so you could kind of just get ready for the whole Blue Demon Meliotis and Blue Lilia sort of combo. So that was kind of cool, I guess. I don't know, just things like this were really interesting to me, that they were like switching it up and changing it from JP and like messing with the meta and trying to alter things. Like, I always thought that was kind of cool. But they're just, some of their execution with it was awful. So, then this banner came out. I think I remember saving up all of my tickets and just doing all of these, summons at one time. And I can't remember. I don't even think I pulled an extra copy of, Merlin on this banner, but I mean, obviously Blue Merlin's really not that great anyway. And then, this banner came out, which was, I think this is a 7% banner. I can't remember. No, actually I don't think it is. It's just they had coin shop units on the banner, which was kind of interesting. And yeah, because she's a coin shop unit. He's not a coin shop unit. He's a coin shop unit. I don't know. I remember this Deanne came out, and I really wanted this Deanne, and I didn't pull this Deanne until there was one of those SSR selector tickets that had green Escanor and green Deanne, and I think there was a couple of other characters on it. I didn't end up pulling her until that ticket came out, and I ended up using it on her, which was really weird because everybody was like, "Get Escanor. Escanor's the best value," and I was like, "I just want Deanne." And then Blue Lilia came out, and then there was Pierce meta everywhere as far as the eye could see. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't think Valencia. Yeah, Valencia was on this banner. God, look how many SSRs there are on this banner. This is awful. That's the one thing I've always hated about this game, is that the rates are so low and they jam pack it full of SSRs. Like, when I used to play Dragon Ball Legends, it was a 7% chance to get an SSR like equivalent, and because it was a 7% chance, there was 7 SSR characters on the banner, so it was a 1% chance. There was no rate up for, the characters that you were new, but it was still a 1% chance to pull the character. So I mean, it was there was a lot better odds. But yeah, so this banner came out. I'm pretty sure me and my brother did a dual summon on this banner, and I ended up pulling a copy of Valencia, which I had skipped, and then I ended up pulling a copy of Blue Demon Meliotis on it, and he was so hyped that I pulled that, and it was a good time. That was a fun banner. Then Double Melascula came out. I'm pretty sure I ended up skipping on this one. I maybe did like a 1 or 2 multis, I can't remember, but I wasn't really all that excited about Melascula because as far as I knew, she wasn't super like meta relevant or anything like that. The Red King banner came out, and there was this huge controversy in the community. They were like, oh my god, the wording on his passive is messed up, they're gonna refund all our gems. And so everybody was like spending all of their gems trying to get a refund, and it did not happen. They issued a small apology. They were like, hey, we fixed it. And everybody was like, give me my gems back. And I was like, okay, like, you really shouldn't have fucking expected all of that. And then I remember, if I'm not mistaken, I think there was an announcement for a final boss or something like that. And then I can't remember which one it was, but they announced the final boss, and Red Escanor was in the trailer for the final boss. Like, there was a small glimpse of him, and then at the very end of it, they announced that Red Escanor was coming, which was really cool. And then, unfortunately, Red Gallant was on the banner, and he was trash. And he's still trash. Unfortunate. I'm pretty sure I ended up summoning on this. A lot of people were like, don't summon, he's a coin shop unit. But I was like, I gotta have him. He's so cool. And he was a really fun unit to play, because Red Arthur has, like, for some reason, Red Arthur was way more relevant in the meta on global, and he was just a lot more, you know, like, he was getting a lot more use than a lot of characters were. So having Red Escanor to kind of pair with that was always kind of a cool, like, meta thing. And obviously, like, Red Escanor and Red Arthur were always a huge meta, even on JP, but I don't know, it was just cool because a lot of people already had Arthur powered up. So this Green Deanne came out. I did not summon on this banner because it was not summoning, or like worth summoning on. And then I didn't pull this character until like months after. Like, it was many months. I don't know why. I just had terrible luck pulling this character. The AOT collab came out. This one was a super big deal because people were like, oh my god, like, JP just got this like a couple of months ago and we're not having to wait that long. This is insane. And these units were actually really cool and really interesting. And then everybody was like, oh my god, Levi's so good, you gotta invest in Levi. And I did, and I hated it. I hate Levi. He's not what I expected him to be, and he does not do the numbers that I thought he was going to, and I hate him. Then Blue Bond came out, super big skip banner. There was a 7% banner that came out. Pretty much, I'm pretty sure on this specific 7% banner, I ended up summoning and not getting like a single SSR. And with these kind of banners, that you can only summon on it 10 times, even though they're a 7%. And I was like, God, how do you not pull a single SSR on a 7%? So that was really dumb. Double Estarossa came out. I remember summoning on this because I really wanted green Estarossa. I don't remember. I think I ended up pulling a green Estarossa off the banner. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I did, because I didn't pull red Estarossa because I wanted red Estarossa for the costumes, and I was really tempted to keep summoning on it just to try to get red Estarossa, but I was like, he's really trash, and I don't think that's worth doing. Monspeet came out. I really wanted Monspeet because Monspeet's a really interesting character, but he's just not very meta relevant, so I was like, whatever. And then turns out if you did have him powered up and everything like that, you could use him with the KOF characters. Derriere came out. This was a huge point in the meta. People were like, oh my god, you gotta summon for Derriere, she's the best PvE unit, which was very appealing to me because I'm a very big PvE player. So I remember summoning on this and getting her, and I was super hyped about that. I'm pretty sure I ended up pulling both of them. Blue Arthur came out. There was a bunch of free tickets for this, so you didn't have to do anything crazy with that. Lost Vein came out. Meta went to shit. It's still shit. I hate Lost Vein. Worst thing to happen to the game. He's just so annoying. Like, absolutely annoying. Oh, what a character. Came out with Fraudrin too. It's weird that Fraudrin came out with this too, because it's so weird to me that both of the Fraudrins, there's a blue and a green Fraudrin. Green Fraudrin is like a money trap. Like, you have to invest so much money into Green Fraudrin, and you want to max out all of his costumes. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, Blue Fraudrin is someone that you don't want anything maxed out on because you want him to die and, you know, activate his passive. So it seems weird that they would do that, because if you max out all the cosmetics for this one, they're going to be maxed out for the other Fraudrin, which is going to make him less efficient. So it's kind of weird how that works. Mono came out. I thought it was really weird that they split the Mono and Easton banner, which I feel like they shouldn't have. That's still kind of a dumb decision. I think I ended up pulling on it because I was like big simping, and it wasn't worth doing. I used her in the meta for a little bit, and she wasn't good. This was a really interesting banner. I thought this one was really crazy that they added 6 new SSRs at one time, and the fact that this was 6 new SSRs, you had to summon, you had to try to pull all of the SSRs, which luckily I did, which was insane in itself. But not only did you have to do that, you had to buy each of them's cosmetic outfits to get their costume bonus if you wanted to use them efficiently, and that was absolute balls. I hated I hated that. I hate it still. I don't know. In the 7 Deadly Sins has like some of the like best gameplay out there as far as I'm concerned. But the fact that not only do you have to max out ultimates, and you have to max out cosmetics, and you have to buy cosmetics to like actually get your characters like to the peak of their existence, it really has the trifecta of I need to spend money on this game. And the fact that they're as greedy as they are is baffling to me. Like, they're making bank off this game. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, they need to give back more. But yeah, this banner was insane. Easton came out. Everybody skipped on it except for me because I really wanted Easton, and she was really cool. I mean, I still use her every once in a while. She's kind of a neat character, like for buffs and stuff like that, but her damage is trash. So she's kind of just really big support. I don't know. She's still, honestly, if I could go back, I wouldn't summon on this banner. Easton's okay, but she's not anything crazy. Zaratross came out. A buddy of mine really wanted Zaratross and did not pull him, even though he's really not that good for anything. He's okay for like very niche like PvP or PvE stuff. He is a cool character. I really hate that they end up like making all of the like back end characters that really aren't that popular. They end up making them bad characters, which sucks. But Zeldaross came out, and I remember everybody was like, "Don't summon on Zeldaross. There's something big coming soon." I can't remember what it was. I think it was the KOF collab. So I was like, I gotta summon on Zeldaross. Like, I gotta do it. And I want to say I pulled at least one copy of both. I can't remember exactly. I ended up skipping this banner. I still don't have these 2 characters, which I'm not really that worried about either way. I don't know. Neither of them are good, and I honestly hate the way that they look. So it's not really like a big deal to me. This one came out. I ended up simping all the way to get Roxy, and I did not pull a copy of Shin, and I still don't have a copy of Shin. Fun fact for you. I would kind of like to have Shin, but at the same time, he's okay. He's very kind of niche as well. KOF came out. I spent a lot of, I think I did 2 whole rotations on this, like 1,200 gems, and I still didn't pull a copy of Gother, which was insane. But I ended up like, I 5-6'd Kyo. I'm pretty sure I 2 or 3-6'd Athena, 2 or 3-6'd Mai, and then I think I 2-6'd Rugal, which was pretty good. Honestly, like, I had really good luck on the banner, but I just could not end up pulling Green Gother, which was unfortunate. And this was also a really weird time too, because people were like, what? Like, why is Green Gother on this banner? He literally just came out on JP. Like, this cannot happen. What the hell? So, I mean, I just... At this, like, once it got to this point, people were like, oh my god, why is Gother on the banner? I was just thinking to myself, like, I mean, do you really want to wait till next Halloween to get this unit? So, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they could have just rebranded him kind of like they did with the Valentine's Day units and the New Year's units or whatever, but I don't know. It just seemed kind of like a no-brainer to me, personally. I was like, why would they kind of wait? Like, I mean, it's not like he's a really, really good character, sure, but I mean, what is it gonna hurt if they just go ahead and throw him in? But maybe that's just me thinking very casually about it. I don't know. This came out. I think I ended up, I want to say they gave out free summons for this one, and I ended up pulling a Camilla pretty early in the ticket summons, which was really nice because I ended up maxing her out and using her a little bit. Very lackluster character, which is very unfortunate because she's really cool. Goddess Liz came out, another huge another huge downhill movement in the PvP scene. Still a very relevant team today. She's used on pretty much anything and everything you can think of. Hate her guts, but she's too good not to use. Gloxinia came out. Gloxinia is really cool, but unfortunately he's really just not not as good. He can be okay. I still don't have red Gloxinia. I don't know why. I've just not saved up enough for him in the coin shop. I just end up using all of my coins for Super Awakening, so unfortunate. I would like to get him sometime. Oslo and Hawk came out. I had really terrible luck with this banner. I ended up having to go all the way to the 600 mark just to get one copy of Oslo and Hawk, and then one amazing YT posted on Twitter twice that he pulled, using his free summon tickets, he pulled a copy of Oslo and Hawk twice. And I was like, oh my god, stop. And I didn't even pull Deanne at all, which is unfortunate because I kind of wanted her, even though she's really not good. Like, she's not used for anything, honestly. But I just wanted to have her because she was kind of a seasonal unit. So I still don't have her, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Droll came out. I ended up skipping this banner completely, just like a lot of free-to-play players did, which is unfortunate because as much as I use my green Droll now, like, I kind of wish I would have got him when he first came out, but I ended up pulling him off of like a part 2 ticket or something like that, which was really nice. So, well, no, maybe I pulled him off of a banner, and then I pulled the blue one off of a ticket. Because, yeah, the green one's the coin shop one, I think. I don't remember. But, yeah, I have both of them now. They're really cool. The movie banner came out. I only summoned on this because I wanted Green Gother, and he ended up being a mileage reward, which was really nice. So this was like the one chance that you had to really go for him and you could max him out, which was really insane. And I'm pretty sure I did like 2 summons and pulled him, and I was like, oh my god, like that's still like one of my favorite moments in like me summoning on this game, was when I pulled him like so early. Ludo came out, and I summoned for him quite a bit, and I use him so much. I skipped on his banner for the first week, and like right before the banner left, I was like, man, I really don't want to wait. I really want this character. So I ended up pulling on him, and I still have a lot of fun with Ludo. If I could max out his ult, that would be fantastic, but they won't put him on any banners, so unfortunate for me. He is really, really cool, though. He's honestly like one of the biggest Whalers units there are. But it's so much fun to me. Like, it gives me a sense of purpose almost to like summon for cosmetic upgrades and stuff like that, just because I want to max him out, because it makes his potential so much better. Which, I mean, I need to farm cosmetic upgrades for other characters too, but I'm just like, nah, I can't be bothered for that, whatever. But he makes it worth doing. This blue Hellroom came out. They gave out free multis for him. King came out. A lot of people skipped King. Unfortunately, they didn't rate up on I almost called her Camilla. They didn't rate up Lilia, which was really dumb in my opinion. I didn't pull a copy of her, but I ended up pulling 2 copies of King, and I want to say I pulled an extra copy of Hendrickson on like 300 gems or something like that. Like, I did really, really good on this banner, surprisingly. And I guess that's a good thing, because I really didn't need to spend a whole lot of gems on this banner. They brought the New Year's units back, nothing too crazy. Then they brought out the Archangels, which was a terrible move. People still hate that they brought them out kind of early, and then they pulled out the Elaine banner. I kind of wanted this Elaine to kind of help out, to try to make my Festival King team a little bit more relevant, but she's just not good. Like, she's in the game right now, and I could summon for her, but no thanks. And then this is where Assault Mode Meliotis would be, but he did get delayed. So I don't know what's going to be in this slot yet, but we will end up learning that tomorrow night during the maintenance, I'm assuming. So, yeah, this was kind of cool. Little trip down memory lane, I guess. I don't know. If you guys want to see this spreadsheet, I will leave a link to it in the description. I think I'll leave a link to his Reddit post, just in case you guys want to like upvote him on Reddit or anything for making it. I don't know. But yeah, so that is pretty much it. I don't know. Thought it was a little fun video to make. thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe for more content in the future, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you then.